Okay. Ready to go? Let's go. Just driving off from the service station here, just over the border in Czechia, Czech Republic, as it was formerly known. First time I came here to what's now Czechia, it was Czechoslovakia. It was still part of two countries smushed together, which is now Czech Republic and Slovakia. Not to be confused with Slovenia, which many people do. So, right, all loaded up with fuel. I have no idea how much that costs because in Czechia they still use their own currency. Let me know in the comments if you can see me okay, if you can hear me okay, if everything's okay. Let me know if everything's okay. So then, third day of driving to the border. First day I was traveling, the first day was Friday, and I was traveling through the UK. Second day, I travelled from France, through Belgium, into Germany, across Germany, arriving in House last night at around midnight at my friend Marina's place. And she was very kind to take me in, and I got to stay there last night, so I got a good night's sleep, which is good. Sound and picture top, excellent. Safe driving. Tell you what I can do though. I'll try to do what I could do. Put this here. It appears on the camera a little bit. That should stop the shake a little bit. Yeah, that worked. I just put a coffee cup. I just put a coffee cup under the camera. It was wobbling about a little bit of vibration there from the road. So yeah, I'm now in Czechia. I hope you enjoyed yesterday's Euro. What's it called? Euro Driver. There's a game you can play where you just, I don't know, drive around Europe in a truck, I guess. And I was playing a live action version of that. So you can see in the back here we have got some new additions. We've filled the place up to almost to the ceiling here with nappies. We've got loads of nappies for kids, babies coming across the border. That's a bit of a shortage at the moment, so we're going to sort that out. The mad thing is, like 2 weeks ago, there wasn't a shortage, and they were like, "Oh, don't give us any more clothes or any more nappies. We've got enough." But now they're like, "We've used all that. We need some more." So trying to get that over to the good people of Ukraine and the volunteers on the border as soon as humanly possible. So I'm setting things up so that over the next few months, this continues. We'll be able to not just have me come over and drop stuff off the border, but we'll have a little team of people who are willing to do this. We'll have little stop points off along the way. We'll have a route set up, and rather than have it sort of like, oh, well, we'll try and do this on that day and try and do that another day, we'll actually have it set up like a proper timetable thing where we do 8 hours of driving, stop, whatever. So, and we do it in teams of 2. That is the plan. Good AM. Thank you. Good AM. Good morning. Good morning. Hello. We're Czech now, so we're in the Czech Republic, so for now, say good morning in Czech. When I think of the Czech language, I always think of that little down arrow thing, the little V on top of the letters. They're quite fond of that in Czechia. So it's Sunday morning here, Sunday the 10th of April 2022, time marches on. And the horror show that is unfolding in Ukraine as a consequence of the Russian invasion, the illegal, immoral, absolutely scandalous invasion by the internationally wanted war criminal Vladimir Putin, and his gang of Islamic fundamentalist terrorists. Actually, they're not fundamentalists. They're just Islamic terrorists, mercenaries that Vladimir Putin has paid to come from Syria to come and kill people in Europe. Nice. Bit of role reversal there, I guess. Situation in Ukraine isn't like it's improving anytime soon. It's very much like the Russians are regrouping. And again, no stress. I know nothing about military tactics, but I know little things like don't dig trenches in radioactive soil. As if that really needs to be said. It doesn't. So yeah. Oh, I think I've put my screen back. So yeah, what it looks like is that the Russian troops are regrouping and basically trying to cut off the Ukrainian forces in the east of the country, trying to encircle them. That's the plan. What we need is for the Ukrainians to be given all of the supplies, all of the ammunition, all of the weapons that they require in order to hold the Russians at bay, at least until May the 7th, so about another month of this. Now the hope is on May the, I think it's May the 7th, might be May the 9th, but one of those days is the big celebration of the end of World War II Day in Russia. Yeah, you know the way people in Britain are absolutely obsessed with World War II? It's a bit like that in Russia as well. It's the expression they use, you won't get over it. But yeah, so apparently Putin hasn't made any progress by May the 7th. We're just seeing more and more Russian soldiers, ill-disciplined, immoral, demoralized Russian soldiers mixed with their mercenary counterparts who've come over from Syria to kill women and children here in Europe. If he hasn't made any kind of significant gains by then, that could be the day that his generals and his coterie, is that the right word? People around him turn against him. Say, we don't want you to be our dictator anymore, Mr. Putin, Mr. Vladimir Putin. At that point, might get rid of him. Hopefully they'll off him. That'd be good news to wake up to, wouldn't it? But what a shame that so many people, millions of people, had their lives destroyed by this one lunatic and his dreams and delusions of grandeur. This absolute megalomaniac who believes that Ukraine is a historical mistake. and he claims to be the one who's fighting the Nazis. Yeah, all right, Vlad, whatever you say, mate. So is anyone else out there? I know we got quite low audience figures this morning, but I've been doing this for a few days now, so that's understandable. We've got a couple of people on. Can't see. Oh, can't see the camera. I'm gonna say I need to put the brightness up on the camera a little bit on the phone, but I can't touch my phone while I'm driving. I don't know if that's a rule in Czechia. It might not be. Who knows? Okay, so the capital of the Czech Republic is Prague, and I will be driving past Prague in a little bit. Now, Prague is a beautiful city, absolutely beautiful. Well worth a weekend away once all this nonsense is over. But one of the things I wanted to talk a little bit about this morning, on my way past Prague, is what more Europe could do. Obviously, us lot, volunteers and people helping out, and people collecting money, and people getting supplies to the border, people getting supplies into Ukraine. In fact, the next drop that we do in 2 weeks will actually be going into Ukraine. The 4x4 that we're going to take to the border will be used in Ukraine. I was going to get loads of SIM cards, loads of gift gap SIM cards. Just get like 100 of them, activate them all. Put like £5 goodie bag on each one. But there's actually mobile phone people on the border giving out mobile phone cards to people, so I think they're free. It should be free. Charging it's a bit much. So what I want to talk about is what Europe can do as a continent. The big thing right now is we can cut off the oil and gas. We've got to do it. We've got to do it. We're giving, we as a collective continent, the terrorist, the international wanted war criminal, Vladimir Putin, we are giving him €1 billion a day. Now, can you imagine that? Imagine if we were on the hunt for Red October. No, on the hunt for Osama bin Laden or the Wilder people, and we were giving this scumbag, this terrorist scumbag, Osama bin Laden. We were giving him €1 billion a day. I mean, someone put their hand up and say, "What? Can we try not doing that? How about we don't give him €1 billion a day?" The quick way of doing that is literally cutting off the oil and gas. Now the difficulty is 40%, I think it is, of the gas that comes into Europe does come from Russia. Germany isn't set up for taking liquid petroleum gas, I think that's what it stands for, LPG. They're not set up. They don't have the facilities required for that on a large scale. So here's the problem. The little town that I was in this morning, Vorheidstrasse, the little town that I was in this morning was covered in a blanket of snow. It's really cold. Can't turn off the gas. It's snowing outside. So we do have to wait a little bit. Give it a few weeks. Let the spring kick in. Things are a little bit warmer, and then just do it. 2 months, gas rations, whole of Europe. We share what we've got as best we can. But realistically, if we can shut off the gas and the oil that we buy from Russia, that would strangle Vladimir Putin. At the moment, all of the sanctions that have been put on Putin, they haven't really touched the sides. So much so that, as incredible as this may sound, the ruble hasn't lost its value. I mean, it lost its value at the beginning of the conflict when the sanctions first kicked in, but now it's gone back to what it was before the sanctions kicked in. So that just shows you how ineffectual the sanctions have been so far. So obviously, yeah, we need to do something about this. We need to make these sanctions really, really hurt Putin, hurt Russia. I mean, we don't really want to hurt the Russian people, but we do need them to want to get rid of Putin. That's the main objective of the West at the moment, in lieu of actually sending in fighting forces into Ukraine to help defend Ukraine against these foreign aggressors. These non-Europeans coming to Europe and murdering our women and children. Hate to get a bit, localized about this, but sod it. This is wrong. Russia should be not just expelled from the UN Council of Human Rights, it should also be chucked out of the Security Council. But I think Russia, after this, should be chucked out of Europe. That's it. You aren't part of UEFA anymore, mate. You can't take part in the Eurovision Song Contest. You're not counted as part of Europe. You're part of Asia, I guess. If Asia wants you, if Asia doesn't want you, I don't know, we've just called you the barbarian, land of barbarians. So what's the Russian for land of barbarians? Some unpleasant title. How about that? Again, not particularly fair on the Russian people, but we have to make the Russian people hate Putin as much as we do. Okay, so Prague is 48 minutes away from me at the moment. I'm going to be going through the Czech Republic and then into Poland. Don't think I'm going into Slovakia on this trip. Got a morning there from, I can't really read the names, sorry. Like I said, I need to send the brightness up on my phone, but I can't touch my phone. So just so you know, I'm hoping to get to the board about 7:30, so hopefully before it gets dark tonight, I should be there. I'm going to try and babble along there as quickly as I can. Drop the stuff off, and stay at the board of the night, and then head off in the morning. Or, if I do have refugees in Warsaw to pick up, I'll head over to Warsaw. Get them. To have a little bit of leeway. Can come back on the Wednesday. Girlfriend will not be impressed. I come back on Wednesday, but this is Kieran's van, so I am insured next week. Insurance was significantly expensive for a week. I think a full week. But yeah, if anyone's got any other ideas of how we can stop Putin, let us know in the chat. It's quite grey and overcast today. It's not as dramatic as yesterday. Yesterday was insane. Like, that was amazing. Driving a lot. If you didn't see the live stream yesterday, I flipped the camera around, so you saw the road. What I was seeing. We were getting lots of showers, lots of sun, lots of showers. The craziness, amazing. Looking vista, dark storm clouds with the sun streaming from behind. It's amazing. So, just on how I'm doing, thanks for asking. I got a good night's sleep last night. Didn't get to sleep till probably 1:30 or something, but loads of stuff to do, like admin stuff for the website, and also a little bit of accounting. Just want to make sure that all of the money that's spent on these journeys is accounted for and published on the website. Since those of you who know me well feel quite uncomfortable taking money off people will know that I feel quite uncomfortable taking money off people without them seeing exactly where the money is going. Really good example of this is we went to Ginger Island last year, me and Marcus, or All Shorts, a fellow YouTuber, and literally everything we bought, we put on, we put on the camera. We went, right, we've got this, we've done this, everything we did, everything we built, everything we did, put it on camera. So here's where your money is going. We're not just missing it off the wall. And also, when I did the Three Blokes podcast, I ran a crowdfunder called Buy a Drink for the Three Blokes. So technically speaking, I didn't have to do this because people were just buying us drinks. But obviously, I spent that money on traveling. I spent that money on traveling to Geneva, Switzerland, to Malaga in Spain, to traveling to Gibraltar, to Brussels twice, to Northern Ireland, to Belfast, to Dublin, and the Republic of Ireland, and all around the UK doing the Three Blokes shows. So I actually put up on my old website, projecthope.eu, I put up a link to a spreadsheet that just said, it was literally everything we spent, well, I spent the money on, all itemized, and then it all up. thing is with that as well is I foolishly thought the money would never end. I thought we'd just keep doing it and keep funding it. It didn't quite end that way, as some of you know. But it did mean that I was actually out of pocket by the end of it all. I spent some of my own money, assuming that the money would keep coming in, and then the money just stopped, and I was like, "Oh shit!" Like that, and that's the way it is. Oh. I think we got just being videos saying hi on. Hi, just being videos. Going into the tunnel now, might lose signal. I don't know. I'll slow that down. Just going through this tunnel. And into the tunnel. It's a very well lit tunnel. A little bit like a bit of daylight disco. Daylight disco. Knowing what a corrupt country Ukraine is, be sure that aid won't end up on the black market. Are you fucking kidding me? What? What? Yeah, there's a black market for nappies. No, it's going to the border. There's medical kit in the back there. That's going to a doctor who's on the border. And the rest of stuff's going to the humanitarian aid centre, which is just inside the, just in Poland. What you mean? Like, fuck off with your bullshit about it's a corrupt country. It deserves to be invaded by its neighbour. Really, if you think about it, it deserves to have its women and children raped and blown up. Yeah, sure, whatever you say. It's a corrupt country. Fucking idiot. Can you stop watching this and go away? Do something else. Go and find some corner of the internet to sit on and snark at people or troll or whatever it is that you do in your life. Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. Fucking hell. Jesus Christ. Some people, sorry for swearing, any children watching, just learned some new words, but people come on here, like, driving 3 days, driving to give black market nappies to the people on the black market. Yeah, take these nappies, go on, make $1 million out of them. These people walk amongst us, I don't know if they finished school, but they certainly didn't pay attention when they were there. Anyway, what was I talking about? So talk about the Czech Republic for a bit. Czech Republic is one of my favourite countries in Europe. Not just because Prague is one of the most beautiful cities in Europe, but also because the beer here is incredibly, incredibly cheap. Like, insanely cheap. This is probably the cheapest country in Europe to get drunk in, which is great. Driving. Unfortunately, I'm driving, so I can't partake. But maybe I'll come back here at some point. And also, where I stayed last night is part of Bavaria, which you might know from famous Oktoberfests, such as Oktoberfest, which takes place in Bavaria every September. Oktoberfest starts in September. I think this is something to do with the fact that they use the old Julian calendar instead of the Gregorian calendar. I don't know. It just starts in September. That's all I know. But I say every year, I've got to get to Bavaria for the beer festival. I've never done it yet, but I think maybe this year or next year I'll try and make it over. I'm not going to Glastonbury this year. Missed out on a ticket two years ago. No, God, 2.5 years ago when they went on sale. And when the resale tickets came on 2 weeks ago, I was 2 weeks ago today. I was driving. I was driving with Bear to the border with medical supplies. Yeah, just a bit sad that I'm not going. Would have been my 15th Glastonbury. So when people moan about lockdown, you're making them stay in. The only reason why the rich, privately educated, elite neo-aristocrat whinged about lockdown so much is because it affected them. Most of the time when things happen in the UK, like the increase in insurance, national insurance, the increase in taxes, the pulling us out of Europe. It doesn't. It only affects the people who aren't rich. If you're rich, you can still live, work, and play and get married in Europe. You can do anything you like. You're rich. You've got the money to do it. But when you're not rich, and it now costs you £5,000 to bring your husband or wife into the UK, and you have to be earning a certain amount each year in order to keep them in the UK, even if you've got children together, it makes it a lot more difficult for us. But when it doesn't affect the rich don't care. They earn enough each year. They can claim non-domicile. They don't have to pay tax, etc. But lockdown affected the rich as well as everybody else. And one of the things they complained about is said, oh, the detrimental effect on their mental health. On their mental, are you kidding me? On their mental health. What about the detrimental effect on our mental health? The 93% of us in the UK who aren't privately educated, need to speak like a big prof. And how about mental health stress on us that's caused by the rich? Absolutely taking the piss and destroying everything that our grandfather's generation, the greatest generation, the generation that fought in World War II, that generation fought for and built after the war, the NHS, the European Union, NATO. They just want to rip it all apart. Rip up the post-war settlements, and the post-war settlement. What they call that until the Berlin Wall came down. So yeah, it's kind of painful. I did Oktoberfest back in the day. Great experience. Don't listen to Graham. His channel is sub to Stephen. Oh, he's a Tommy 10 name fucking dickhead. All right, mate. So you've got someone who's a racist, a sexist, homophobic dick with no friends, because you know people who like Tommy Robinson don't have any friends, and probably smells, has a shit job that he hates, never achieved anything. These people never have. Like they don't have Wikipedia pages. Put it that way. And yeah, they'll come on here and they'll say, oh, you shouldn't be giving aid to Ukraine because someone might take the nappies and make money out of it somehow. Do you know you're going to make money out of people? Make money out of stupid rich people. So they're the rich people who didn't actually make money in their life, they just inherited money. Yeah? They're dickheads usually a bit inbred as well. Just make money out of them. They've got loads of money. Don't make money out of refugees, mate. They've got fuck all. They're refugees. Clues in the question. Oktoberfest back in the 80s. 80s, bloody hell. It's a great experience. I've got to do that. I think that says 80s. It says 90s. I apologise for aging you. It's just that the text on the screen is very small, and obviously I'm driving at 130 kilometers an hour. What is this guy doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Sorry, the car in front of me, Volkswagen Passat, I think, was just straddling the runoff lane for services, and then decided, well, they're going to go to the services, and just pulled straight back into my lane. So, that's all right. I'll leave a lot of space between in front and myself for this very reason. Oh, they're coming off again. Oh, right, there's two services. Right, you are coming off here. Don't change your mind at the last minute. Okay, cool. Didn't change your mind. Good stuff. So yeah, Czech Republic. Beautiful. Head over here if you can. I used to do like cheap flights over to the Czech Republic from EasyJet and Ryanair. Used to do it. I don't know something. That was nice. Anyway, to talk about sort of posh people getting upset about lockdown because it affected them. They had to lock down. How dare the government tell them what to do? It's fine for the government to tell us, the rest of us, what to do and how much tax we have to pay and where we're allowed to live and who we're allowed to marry and whether we're allowed to leave the village. Not that the actually Lennon bloody Tommy 10 names found there will care because they've probably never left their village. Do you know what I mean? Like their little shitty village. That's really shit. Their little oyster Fazy in which they live, where they marry their sister. You know the place. There's a lot of them in the UK, unfortunately, these days. I thought we'd come out of the dark ages, but some of us are just intent on dragging us back there. Anyway, so yeah, they were upset because it affected them. And the thing is, you started getting the little familiars, the little wankers who listen to these gobshites on the telly, like actually Lennon, like Loser Fox and Heartless Brewer and all those gobshites, gobs on sticks, and they go, "Oh yeah, I've had my rights taken away from me because I've got to stay in for a bit." The thing is, these whack jobs, they've never been anywhere. They've never been anywhere. It's just like, who gives a fuck? I honestly don't care. Like, what, you got to stay at home for a few months to save people's lives in a pandemic? Yeah, stay at home. Stop whinging about it. Jesus Christ. If anyone had any right to complain about lockdown, it was me. You know, I travel all the time. I've been to every country in the world. Been to 15 Glastonbury's. Been to over 50 music festivals on 6 different continents. I've been to hundreds, if not over 1,000 gigs in my life. Like, all of that stopped. I used to go to the cinema every week. Every week I would go to the cinema and see new movies. Couldn't do that. All the stuff that I used to do, because I was very active and I would go out and do stuff with people. It wasn't a case of walking up a mountain every weekend. I didn't do that. I actually went out where there was crowds and there was nightlife and there was stuff going on. And that was taken away from me. Did I complain? Did I fuck? Because, seriously, why would you complain about that? Like, why would you complain about the fact that you're helping to save people's lives by not going out? I mean, God, it's like they asked us to sacrifice our firstborns. It's just like, what do you want us to do? Well, there's a pandemic going on. People are dying, especially the elderly, you know, the actual people who fought in the Second World War that we're obsessed with. And so to protect them, can you just not go out for a few months? Oh, no, this is such an infringement of my civil liberties. And you get people like Penis Corbyn going out and freaking out at people. Oh, don't let them stop you going out. And then he tells people not to get the vaccine. I tell you, all these people who said don't get the vaccine, you can tell the ones who didn't because they're dead. You can tell the ones who did, they're still alive, still telling people not to get the vaccine, even though they got it themselves. That's what we call a hypocrite in my line of business. Sad you missed the last services in Belgium. Well, it was just badly signposted, just me and Vince. Sorry. Yeah, it was just very badly signposted. It was like there was an exit, and then there was another exit, and it made it look like the first exit was just for lorries, and the second exit was for cars, but it wasn't quite the way. Yeah, that's a bit mad. I thought, well, I could probably go straight on for a little bit and then turn around and come back, but that would have probably ended up costing more in fuel because it was a good few miles to the next junction. I had to turn around and come back. Go through a few miles to the next junction. I bet. But never mind. I was pretty empty when I got here this morning. It's in Czechia, and I've just filled up the tank. So God knows how much the fuel is here because it's in Czechia krona or whatever currency it is. Is it a krona? Is it the krone? Someone find out. What is the currency of the Czech Republic? Please, someone Google what. JCB place. Right then. Okay, so I'm gonna let the feed go for a little bit, and then what I might do in a Czech Corona. Yeah, that's the same, isn't it? I say Corona. Corona. Is that pronounced Corona? Like a crooner, like Frank Sinatra, like it's a crooner. Oh, I'm a Czech crooner. Frank Sinatra impersonator. Yeah, so that means crown, doesn't it? Same as the currency of Denmark and Norway. Swedish krona and the Faroe Islands. Faroe Islands has its own currency, ladies and gentlemen. It's not a country, part of Denmark, but it does have its own banknotes. And its currency, I think, is pegged to the Danish krona, I think. Maybe. Might be making that up. But let it be known that the Czech Republic has its own money. Whereas Slovakia, I think, uses euros. Poland has its own money, and it still uses the zloty. So I've got some zlotys in my pocket. I'm going to go back. And Denmark, Sweden uses its own money. Finland uses the euro. The point is, you're going to have to join the euro to be part of the EU. People are saying, oh, if Britain rejoins the EU, then you'll have to have the euro. We'll have to go to the Queen. We'll have to go to the House of Lords. Politics is the art of compromise, and the EU takes that to the next level. The EU is a rules-based system, but you know they know how to use the rules to their advantage and the advantage of its members. And although Britain has acted like a bunch of absolute gobshites over the last 5, 6, 7 years, then there will be a point, I think, when the mood of the public has turned so much against this pack of gobshites that are our government at the moment. Boris Johnson and his lunatics, his friends, well, he doesn't have friends, does he? The people he uses, his cronies. Boris Johnson's cronies, cronyism all over the shop. 37 billion spent on Serco's test and trace system, given to his mate Dildo Harding, wife of the MP who's in charge of what? Corruption? Corruption's are? Yeah, nice. Billions given, billions, literally billions of our money given for PPE. It just didn't work. Matt Hancock saying his only mistake was to fall in love. It's not Matt Hancock. You should be in jail, mate. You should totally be in jail with the rest of your privately educated gobshite mates. But yeah, I think there's going to be an awakening. I hope there'll be an awakening at some point where Britain does realise, and all the people who voted to leave. Don't forget, Bear, who joined me on my last journey, he voted to leave, ladies and gentlemen. When people realise that they've been had, they've been conned, they've been taken for a ride, they've been lied to. They were told everything was going to be great, food was going to be cheaper, petrol was going to be cheaper, gas was going to be cheaper. We're going to have £315 million a week to give to the NHS, they said. Unfortunately, that didn't end up being the case. So that's about Ginger Island. Yeah, Ginger. Yeah, me and Marcus went over to Ginger last year. Fixed the place up, and it had been ransacked. A marauding mob had come over to the island and stolen everything. The place, this little house on the island. I mean, by everything. They stole the toilets. When I say they stole the kitchen, everything but the kitchen sink. No, they stole the kitchen sink as well. The fridge, the cooker, solar panels, solar batteries. They stole the panels off the side of the house. They stole the floor. Literally stole the floor downstairs. It was a wooden floor, like a deck. All went. So yeah. Spent 2 months fixing the place up, and now there's a guy there with his family staying on there, an indigenous guy from Panama. He's been living there for the last couple of years, so it's just nice to live. And if anyone wants to stay there with Airbnb, get in touch. Well, I don't think too many people are going very far on tourist circuit at the moment, or with COVID. Price of living increase, which is it's not the same across Europe, but everyone's feeling the pinch. Life is not as cheap as it used to be, unfortunately. Reject 853. Has anyone got if anyone's watching this, Cash Dummy or someone, if anyone's watching this who's got permission to block people on YouTube, can someone get rid of this troll? That'll be really helpful, thank you. was very aware yesterday that obviously I was driving on the autopilot. Well, there is no speed limit. But people would be critiquing my driving. And it wasn't long before Richard on number 3 said, "Graham, get out the middle lane." And I was like, but, it's kind of difficult. I can't see out the back. And I'm relying on my wing mirrors. Plus, obviously, I don't know if the camera's flipped on this, but this is a right-hand drive car, so overtaking isn't necessarily as easy as it is when you're in the left. Ooh. Slow down there. It's quite fun. I've got like a heater in the car, in the van. Sorry, I've got a heater, and it's either like if it's off, it's like icy cold, and if it's on, just like one dot, not even like turned all the way up, just on the first setting, it's like baking hot. So I'm spending the whole time switching between the two. It is a song of ice and fire being played out of my cabin. I don't know. Is this a cab? Is it? Can you call the front of this a cab? It's just the front of the van, isn't it? Okay. Ah, there's a nice little eagle over on the hillside. I can't show you because I can't take on the camera. This is when it comes in handy to have a co-pilot. She's not in the. Someone's just gone past in a Toyota, and they've got like a bumper sticker that said, "Better to be a dead lion than a living dog." No. Sorry, I'd much rather be alive. I'm not. Can't do much when I'm dead. A living dog could be useful. Could be St. Bernard and rescue people. Could be a guide dog and help blind people. Could be one of those sniffer dogs that sniff for drugs. I don't know how useful they are, but you know, could be someone's loyal companion. Whereas a dead lion's not used to anyone really. Apart from maybe a horrible American shotgun. Or like happy that they've killed a beautiful living creature. No, I didn't touch the camera then. I just touched the coffee cup. That's stopping the camera from wobbling about too much. Yay! Got a super chat. Woo! Thank you. €50. Wow, blimey! Thank you so much for the super chat. Really appreciate it. Obviously, I'm a little bit lonely on this trip. I don't have a co-pilot with me. This one. On the next one, again, on the way there, I won't have a co-pilot. On the way back, I should. But what I'm going to try and do is I've already ordered another gift gaff SIM card. I might order a couple more for free and basically set them up with goodie bags. And then what I can do is I can set my camera up here to have the footage from the other camera, because we're going to have two vehicles. We're going to have this vehicle probably, if Kieran left it to me again, I don't wreck it, and we're going to have a 4x4, and Bear's going to drive the 4x4 to the border, drop it off with doctors or medics at the border, and I'm going to drive this, and then we're both going to drive back. So hopefully we can have it set up. So Bear's got his camera set up in there. I've got my camera set up here, and yeah, we set off and we can have a conversation. Yeah, talking to each other. Really cool. The only problem with this plan is the fact that the microphone I'm using stops sound coming out, so I don't know if I'll be able to hear what they're saying. I'm sure I saw something. Thank you so much for the Super Troll. Oh, good. Someone's already done it. Cool. Thanks very much. Just hitting some roadworks at the moment. Slow down a bit. It's okay. Tell you what, having your foot on an accelerator for hours and then on end is really uncomfortable. So on your knee and your foot. I'm trying to hold the accelerator down like on the side of instead of being like that, it's kind of like on its side at the moment. This bit of my foot here is just killing me. Oh, but this is an automatic, which I love. I love this automatic, which means that I don't have to press down the clutch to prevent a traffic jam. Am I going to the border? I'm just going to the border. I'm not going to Kyiv. On the next journey, when we pick the 4x4, we might actually take that into Lviv. But I'm picking some people up to an extraction. What do we call that? Oh, it's raining. April showers. Yeah, we're just going to the border. Oh, this journey, we're going to the border. Oh, finish the kebab story. I got cut off. Well, I was telling you about the worst kebab I've ever had. I started off talking about the best kebabs I've ever had. Lebanon, Greece, number one. Armenia. Armenia do really kick-ass kebabs. They put bacon in them, which I think is a secret. Also something that Arab countries can't do, for obvious reasons. Let's get past this guy. So I got a kebab in Durham. It's a couple of months ago now. And oh my god, it was the worst kebab ever. It was literally, they gave me a kebab and it was, and I couldn't take it back because I sort of picked it up and left. And then by the time I opened it to the horror of what it was, I didn't have time to go back and say, what the hell is this? Well, first of all, they charged me like 7 or 8 quid for it, which is ridiculous for a kebab. Secondly, they gave it, and it was a naan bread, like a dry naan, yeah, in a box. Next to the naan in the box was kebab meat, just in the corner, like lukewarm kebab meat, not hot kebab meat, no, not even lukewarm, kind of like cold kebab meat, and chips, and they were really bad chips. They weren't nice chippy chips. They were crap kebab shop chips, and the whole thing was so dry. It was like a desert. It was like a desert in a box, and they gave no sauces with it. So there was no garlic sauce. There was no tzatziki, yogurt sauce. There was no chili sauce. There was nothing with it at all. And I was like, what the hell is this? Build your own burger. Build your own kebab. Absolutely awful. And I've still got advice about it on the Googles to tell people, if you ever go to this chippy, don't order the kebab. Just don't do it. Just no. Seriously, no. They don't. How can you mess up a kebab? It's the easiest thing. Like, you just literally get your naan or your bit of bread or whatever you're going to use. You put the meat in it, and then you put some veg in it, right? Some salads. Then you put some dressing on. It could be mayonnaise. It could be chili sauce. It could be tzatziki. It could be anything you want. Just some sauce on it, so it isn't dry like Gandhi's flip-flop. Oh man, so bad. It was so bad. I got a bit traumatized actually. Hey, best kebabs, Greece, Jordan, and Armenia. Oh, thank you for backing me up on the whole Armenia thing. Armenia do really really good kebabs. They know what they are doing. If I ever went back there, I'll eat so many kebabs. I'd have like a baby. Oh, they don't call them kebabs in Greece. They call them gyros. I might have to pull over in a minute just so I can stretch my leg out. That worked. I think I need to, you know, when your knee needs to click, I'm getting old. It's super old.
Oh, your knee needs to click.
Let's go kick the ball around. Get it moving a little bit. Yeah, Armenia's kebabs are awesome. So you can't see because obviously you're facing me, but it's snowing. It has started to snow. Come on, man, it's the middle of April. Can you cook the snow, please? One of the things that we've got in the back here, we've got loads of kids' jackets. We've got 3 bags full of kids' jackets, which has been specifically asked for. Whoa, I'm literally heading into a blizzard. Slowing right down. It's going to make my arrival at the border even later. If you're in the area, you can order kebabs on Menu AM. Next time I'm in Armenia. So that's something that's quite interesting. So Armenia, for a long time, was part of the USSR, along with Georgia and Azerbaijan, which is one of my favorite names for a country ever, Azerbaijan. So when the USSR broke up into its constituent republics, or 15 republics, and they had to sort of have a look at the borders, which didn't matter so much when everyone was a citizen of the Soviet Union, but once people had their own passport for their own country, it became an actual important matter of politics, right? You've got to have the right passport for these people, or they get knocked at you. And one of the big problems is that there was a community, or there is a community, of Armenians living in what was the Azerbaijani SSR. They lived in a place called Nagorno-Karabakh. So this area was in the Azeri SSR, but it was populated by Armenian people. Now, Armenians are Christian, they're not Muslim. Azerbaijanis are generally Muslim. The Armenians also have their own alphabet and their own language, obviously, and their own history and their own culture and stuff. And so the people who lived in this little enclave in Azerbaijan didn't want to be part of Azerbaijan. It's difficult. This is why borders are always difficult. Anyway, so in the 90s, there was a war in which Armenia and Azerbaijan went at it. And Azerbaijan was supported by Turkey because there's something that the Turkish hate even more than the Greeks. It is the Armenians. So it's good to knock it on with your neighbours, eh? So they supported the Azerbaijani claim over the area. Meanwhile, Russia supported the Armenian claim. And Russia being sort of, I don't know, more well equipped, maybe, even in the 90s, ended with Armenia taking over Nagorno-Karabakh and basically annexing it off Azerbaijan, which was the case until just last year, the Inferno, when there was a very, very short war. Turkey had been supplying Azerbaijan with lots and lots of weapons and stuff for many years. And they said, right, we're taking back Nagorno-Karabakh, taking Karabakh back, and they took a lot of it back. And the Armenians said to the Russians, please help. And the Russians went, well, Vladimir Putin said no. So now most of Nagorno-Karabakh is back in the hands of the Azerbaijani authorities in Baku, the capital. And there is a small corridor which allows access to just a small region of Nagorno-Karabakh, which still is the backbone part of Armenia. Okay, what just happened? Oh my God, someone's bonnet came off their car. Just had to avoid a bonnet, car bonnet, in the middle of the road. Like, how do you lose your car? What on earth just happened? The guy, his car was over the side of the road, he was running back up the motorway to go and get his bonnet in the middle of the lane. Oh my God. Not as, how'd you lose your car bonnet? Maybe he'd been in a smash. He was taking his bonnet back and the wind got underneath it. Took it off his car. Another good reason for not going at the full miles an hour. So yeah, basically, Russia has not been making too many friends around the world recently, and hasn't really been sticking up for its old allies either. And when it comes to Nagorno-Karabakh, again, like I say this a lot, but it should really come down to what the people of that region want, rather than what the forces around that region want them to do. If they want to remain part of Armenia, if they want to be part of Armenia, and the majority want that, then there must be a way of getting that as a thing. But if that is the case, you don't want to end up with a situation like we had in Northern Ireland for many years, where the British authorities said, well, the people in these 6 counties of Ulster, 9 counties of Ulster, 6 of them, they all voted to remain in the referendum. 1921, I think. They all voted to remain as part of Britain, so they can stay as part of Britain, and the rest of the UK, they can stay as part of the UK, and the rest of Ireland can be the Republic of Ireland, the states, Irish Free State as it was for a bit. But then what happened was the Catholics, generally, the people who wanted to be part of a united Ireland, an independent Ireland, were discriminated against by the Protestants, who were the people who wanted to stay with the UK. And so you have to have things in place to ensure that the people who feel like they're lost out in this kind of situation don't feel discriminated against and don't feel like their voice is not being heard. So that's kind of important. You got places like Kashmir. Now, Kashmir is a fascinating place. So it's a majority Muslim place, but the king of Kashmir was Hindu. What's going on? Okay, 10 off there. Hang on, let me concentrate. Fill you in with the history of Kashmir. Okay, right, 29 kilometers long here. Sorry, I almost missed my 10. The situation in Kashmir was that when partition happened in 1947 or 48, this is a disgraceful chapter in British history in which a guy who'd never been to India before went over to India and drew a line based on census data, which wasn't even complete, to decide which area should be the Muslim areas, Bangladesh or East Pakistan, West Pakistan, and West Pakistan, which should be in Pakistan, and which should be India. Splitting the 2 holiest Sikh shrines between two different countries that have hated each other ever since day one. So India split into three, and during partition, over 1 million people died. But the question of Kashmir, whether it should be part of India or whether it should be part of Pakistan, was never resolved by the British before they left. The British rushed it, as they often do with these things. Instead of taking 5 years to do the handover, they did it in, like, what, 4 months or something? Obviously, people were going to die. Those people who were going to die weren't going to be British, so the British didn't care. Nice. Also worth reiterating at this point, something I like, people to talk about, people to know more. When Britain first went into India as part of the East India Company under Elizabeth I in 1600, India was the richest country in the world. It was richer than all of the kingdoms of Europe. That's the British Kingdom, the French Kingdom, the Spanish Kingdom, the Habsburg Empire, the Austro-Hungarian Kingdom, the Holy Roman Empire, all of that put together. It's the richest country on earth. When Britain left in the 1940s, it was one of the poorest countries on earth. So don't let people tell you that empire was a great thing because of all the great things it did. Oh, it gave them railways. Yes, my friend, Japan has railways, and it was never colonized. What are you going to do? So, anyway, moving back to Kashmir. So Kashmir was left open. It wasn't given to India. It wasn't given to Pakistan. And as a result, India and Pakistan and China have been fighting over Kashmir for decades now, up in the mountains. Now, admittedly, I've only met a few Kashmiris in my travels, but I have met some. And every Kashmiri that I've ever met has said to me they would like to be independent. Mad, I know, but they would like to have their own, do their own thing, and not be part of Pakistan, not be part of India, not be part of China, just be their own mountain kingdom, beautiful mountain kingdom of Kashmir, and just do things their own way. That would suit most Kashmiris, but that's never been given them as an option. It's been like, oh, you've got to be part of India, you've got to be part of Kashmir. Sorry, Kashmir. You got to be part of Pakistan. You've got to be part of China. It's like, well, can we not let the people decide what they want? People who live there, can we ask them? Maybe we can ask them. Maybe. But I'll tell you something that the people of Ukraine do not want. They do not want the Russians invading their sovereign territory. Even the Donbass region, which comprises the two regions in the east of the country, even in the Donbass, the vote for independence back in the 90s, when the USSR was breaking up, the vote for independence in those regions was between 80 to 90%. I mean, a lot of people wanted independence. They wanted independence. You know, can't argue with that. They wanted to be independent, and the Ukrainian government looked at all the census, looked at all the data from the referendum, and it was pretty unanimous. Like, not unanimous, a bit of a landslide victory to be an independent country and to be part of Ukraine. They could have voted the other way, you know. They could have voted to stay part of USSR or part of Russia, I suppose. But they didn't. So the idea that now, 30 years on, people are like, oh, we really want to be part of Russia now, after all the military aggression that Russia showed. Don't forget, Russian separatists fired a Russian rocket up at a passenger liner and killed passenger airplane, and they killed 300 people. Malaysian Airlines flight going over Ukraine, 2014, I think that was. The Russian state paid for that rocket. The Russian state paid for that rocket, and they killed 300 civilians. 300 civilians murdered by Vladimir Putin's regime. Vladimir Putin, the wanted war criminal, terrorist. Putin is evil dictatorial regime where if you speak out against it, you go to jail. A regime that a lot of people in the UK seem to want to emulate. Wow. Okay, that was a bit abrupt. My lane just ended. It's got more sunny again now. Can't decide whether it wants to rain or something. Oh, they're doing work in the tunnel, so they've got a contraflow going. Okay. I'm in a tunnel. Gonna make some lunch, says just a bit. There's that Boris has emerged on the Boris. I can't read. Sorry. Saw something similar yesterday. Bonnet wasn't locked. The wind made it go down. Yeah, I mean, the bonnet might come open, but for a bonnet to actually fly off your car, it's a bit insane. Oh, I need to put my lights on in the tunnel. Oh, sorry everyone. I just hit the microphone. Try not to hit the microphone, right? Sorry about that. So, while we're talking about disputed territories, places, regions in the world, one of my friends from Palestine, who's Palestinian, he wants a one-state solution. Not two-state solution, he wants a one-state solution in which both the Israelis and the Palestinians work together to create a homeland for both the Palestinians and the Israelis where they both feel safe, where they both feel valued as citizens, both have citizenship rights. And it won't be easy, but there is a way of, there are mechanisms in place to ensure that one side or the other take dominance, even in a democratic society. Okay, we are stopping. We have stopped. I don't know why we've stopped. I don't know why we're stopped, but we have. Okay, that's nearly a crash. Not by me, by the way. Just looking in the window. I'm not coming off at this junction, so I'm gonna. Oh shit. Okay. I assumed erroneously that the problem was that people were coming off this junction, and then that was causing hold up traffic. But looking ahead on the road, let's see. There's arrows pointing. The lane is closed, so we must do some work. Oh dear. I hope I get to the border before it gets dark. That's my challenge today. And so Boris Johnson's not doing Notting Hill anymore. What on earth is going on? they're just. I think there's another tunnel, and it looks like the other side of the road is closed, so they're funneling the other side onto our side, maybe. So the contraflow in the contraflow going on. We could turn the camera around. I can show you what's happening. I'm up early on a Sunday for a change. Duke, this is not early. Well, well done. It's because you got something to watch. Me with nappies. They're coming to the border with nappies. Got a message saying, have you noticed that Notting Hill Boris has now turned into Winston Churchill Boris? Yeah, he's an actor playing a part, isn't he? Let me in, Sean. Let me in. Thank you, Sean. Yeah, roadworks. Yeah, we're being put into a contraflow into the going through the tunnel. Wow, there's a lot of military equipment coming through. Oh, okay. Let's shut the tunnel. Equipment's coming through. Oh wow, there is a massive procession of military equipment going the wrong way, mate. That is a lot of military stuff. They've shut the tunnel up ahead because a military convoy is coming through the other way. Right, that's the end of the convoy. Police escorts. They had a police escort. Okay, back onto the road. What? Where we stopped? We start this process. It's probably from the US, Polish, NATO exercise yesterday. Yeah, probably. Ooh. Just going over the river Vitava. Okay. Yeah, I think they just stopped people going through the tunnel while the military were coming through the other tunnel, which is a bit weird, but yeah, okay. Fair enough. Back on the go. They heard you were coming and wanted to make you feel at home with contraflows and jams. Yeah, well, driving in Britain is a bloody nightmare. The problem with driving in Britain is just that it's just like stressful. It's just so stressful because you're constantly seeing the speed limit change. Like every mile or so, the speed limit changes. You've got to keep on top of it at all times. It's kind of painful. and then they make parking as complicated as humanly possible. Like each council have their own way of doing on-street parking. You might stay somewhere where you can pay by a card, but then you'll go to stop somewhere else and you have to pay by coins. Or there'll be an app you have to download, and there isn't like one national parking app that they all use. They all have their own app. And if you travel around the UK a lot, you end up with like 5 different parking pay apps on your phone for each different city that you're in. It's absolutely bonkers. Coming out the tunnel now.
Red light, red light.
7 miles from Vestic. Now, eventually I will be coming out of Czechia and entering Poland. When that happens, I will lose my signal, as I always do. So, just check. I won't be going into Slovakia. Going straight into Poland. Yeah. Kind of a mad little journey. But yeah, we're going to be in the Czech. We're going to be in the Czech Republic for a little bit longer. When I get to the border, I will be stopping over the border to get some more fuel. I'll top it up really. Like an empty. Yeah, that'll be my next break. Will be in I don't know, a couple of hours, I guess. When I get through Czechia and out the other side. I've checked, and no pun intended, and basically used to get free roaming in Europe, right? Well, now since Brexit, if you've got a British SIM, which I am, your data allowance, even though on your goodie bag for gift your data allowance might be unlimited, which mine is. When you're in Europe, it is actually limited. Because we left the EU. And all these horrible little clangers like Daniel Hannan, Banks, Nigel Farage, Boris Johnson. Nothing will change. Nothing will change. Yeah, nothing will change for them. They're all millionaires. Daddy bought them a yacht when they were a child. Wife says, no warm up her supper. Ta-ta for now. It's supper. Supper. Hey? It's not even midday yet. It's coming up to midday. If you're just joining us on the UK4UKR live stream, hi, I'm Graham Hughes, the world's most travelled Scouser. And today I'm travelling through Czech Republic on the way to the Polish border with Ukraine. Another couple of hours of Czechia to go before we get into Poland to take a break. And we'll set the stream up again as we get over there. I'd stop in a bit, get another coffee, actually. Weather looks better than yesterday. Well, yeah, I mean, it was snowing earlier. Now it's nice and sunny. I was just thinking, I'll pull over in a bit because I don't know how interesting it is to be looking at me. Some nappies. You know what I look like. Might be more interesting for you to be able to see the road. So I think the next services I get to, I'm going to stop. I'm going to grab a coffee. I'm going to stretch my legs a little bit, and I'll set the camera up when I get back on the road, so I can stream the road as I'm driving along it. But does that sound like a good plan? That's good. It's very dangerous sneezing when you're driving. That's the sunshine. The sunshine's really bright, it makes you sneeze. Or if you think you're going to sneeze, you should look at a light source. Probably not directly into the sun, because I'm blind to you, but if you look at a light in the room or something, it should help you sneeze. Weirdly. Man, who puts a filter lane on the bloody hill? Oh, man. Okay, so it's been raining, and as a result, the ground is got a layer of wet on it, and the sun is really shining now. So you've got the sun, it's really bright, and then you've got the glare from the boat. Aye, aye, aye. I'm creating a little rainbow in my rearview mirror. Well, side mirror. Well, I'm creating a rainbow in the spray behind me. Sounds like a plan. I'd really like you to be able to see what I can see at the moment because it's so bright, so much spray on the road. Cars in front look like ghost cars. Jesus Christ. Oh my God, there was a broken down car at the side of the road, and there was a lorry which was in the inside lane trying to get off. Good job I was in the middle lane because saw the car, the broken down car, at the very last moment because of all the surface spray, and the whole lorry had to swerve very quickly. That car's going to get taken out. The car is going to get taken out by something. If I was that car driver, I'm getting away from that car right now. It's amazing in situations like this how many drivers don't put their lights on. Whenever there's loads of surface spray, it creates a mist around the cars. Cars just disappear. There's people still barreling along in the outside lane, 100 miles an hour. Visibility is so bad. I'm not looking at your comments. I'm sorry, I'm not going to talk very much about the conversation. I'm really not enjoying driving in this. It's just white out there. got a lorry doing about 10 mile an hour in front of me, middle lane. I don't want to go in the outside lane. It's full of lunatics driving Audis very fast. All those impossible positions. Dangerous to go this slow on the motorway. That would be a danger by going too fast in this lane, and a danger by going too slow in the other one. Really wish these cars would have their lights on. It's like when you go to the supermarket, you're the only one wearing a mask. Like, am I the only one with my lights on? Why is that? It's not actually raining, but the sun's spray being kicked up by the other cars. Just got constant drizzle on the windscreen. Do not want to break down in this kind of conditions. Oh, thank God. Okay, you stop staring at me now. Rest stop coming up in 700 meters. Also, it started snowing, and the sun's got away, so it's not as glary as it was, but still not great. Slow it right down. Sorry to anyone trapped behind me, but there are other lanes to choose from. Whoosh. Oh, thank God for that. I'm at the Motor Rest Hotel. Yeah. There's a couple of delightful. Yeah, right. Okay. I was going to keys are still in the ignition. Okay, so thanks for watching. I'm going to knock it off now. I'll be back in a few minutes, and I'll have the camera turned around so you can see what I'm seeing on the road rather than looking at me. So I'll be back in a moment with Czechia Part 2. I'll see you then, I hope. Bye.